Imagine returning from a dream vacation, only to be stopped at the border, questioned for hours, and told you might not be allowed back into the country you call home. It's a harsh reality for many legal U.S. residents who didn't know the rules before traveling abroad. Most assume their green card guarantees smooth reentry, but one small mistake can trigger suspicion, delays, or even denial. In this video, we're uncovering the 10 things every U.S. resident must know before traveling abroad, the hidden risks, your rights, and how to protect your status. Because when it comes to immigration, what you don't know can cost you everything. Number 1. Yes, they can detain a legal resident. Even with a valid green card, immigration officers can absolutely detain you when trying to re-enter the United States. Surprising, right? Having permanent resident status doesn't automatically guarantee your entry. If you've been out of the country for an extended period, or if something in your history raises flags, border officers have the legal authority to temporarily detain you. Here's what's crucial to understand. When returning, you're not freely entering the country. You're going through an immigration inspection process just like any other traveler. Your first filter is the CBP officer, and they're authorized to review your immigration and criminal history, ask detailed questions about your trip, and analyze your responses and behavior. If something doesn't add up or raises doubts, they can hold you for secondary inspection. This isn't an exaggeration, it's the law. Think you're exempt? Wait until you hear what happens next. Number 2. Why they might flag your return. This is where things get tricky. There are multiple reasons why a resident might be detained at the border. Staying outside the country for more than 6 consecutive months without valid reason or re-entry permit. Having a criminal record, even if the offenses occurred years ago and you've served your sentence. Suspicion that your residency was obtained through fraud, either through false documents or misleading information. Direct or indirect connections to risky activities like ties to illegal organizations or frequent travel to conflict zones. Inability to prove your active U.S. residency is still valid. Lack of address, employment, or family ties. Did you know that if you're gone for more than 180 consecutive days, your residency could be considered abandoned? This fact alone is enough to send you to a deeper review, even if you haven't done anything wrong. But what exactly happens during that deeper review? That's what you need to be prepared for. Number 3. Secondary inspection. What to expect. If an officer believes something isn't clear or your case requires further analysis, you'll be sent to secondary inspection. This process takes place in a separate room from the arrivals area and can last anywhere from minutes to several hours. During this review, they may ask very specific questions about your trip. Where did you go? Why? How long were you gone? Question you about your employment, current address, and ties to the United States. Review your electronic devices like phone, tablet, or laptop if they believe there's reason to do so. Request documents proving you maintained active residency, such as rental agreements, utility bills, employment letters, or bank statements. And while you're not formally arrested, you will be detained and under inspection. This is completely legal and can be prolonged depending on the case. Here's the most delicate part. If the officer finds inconsistencies in your answers, if you can't demonstrate your current ties to the country, or if questions arise about your status, they can initiate proceedings to revoke your residency. This doesn't mean you'll lose your green card automatically, but it could start a process before an immigration judge that puts your status in jeopardy. Still think it's safe to leave for extended periods? There's more you need to know. Number 4. Your rights during inspection. Can you defend yourself in the moment? Yes, but there are important limitations you must understand. You have the right to remain silent, especially if you're unsure how to respond. Remember, anything you say can be used against you. You can request to speak with an attorney if you've already been admitted to the country and are within U.S. territory. But if you're still in the admission process, technically still at the border, your rights are much more limited. Key advice: respond calmly, be honest, and maintain a coherent story. Don't make things up, don't exaggerate, and never try to deceive the officer. They're trained to detect nervousness, evasion, or contradictions. One poorly explained detail can trigger serious consequences. If the officer deems it necessary, they may serve you with a legal document known as a notice to appear, a summons to present yourself before an immigration judge. This is the first step in initiating proceedings that could put your permanent residency at risk. But don't panic. There are ways to prepare that most residents never consider. Number 5. Essential documents to carry. Leaving the country as a permanent resident involves more than just carrying your passport and green card. You need evidence supporting that your life remains established in the United States. Here's a list of key documents that can help you avoid problems when returning. Active rental or mortgage agreement during your absence. This proves you maintained housing in the country. Utility bills, electricity, water, internet, phone in your name, especially if they remained active during your trip. Letters from your employer or employment certificates indicating you're still working or on temporary leave. Recent bank statements showing continued activity in U.S. accounts, school records if you're studying, or medical documentation if you have pending appointments or treatments. Return tickets or detailed travel itineraries can also help demonstrate your intention to return. Having this documentation printed and on hand can make all the difference if you're sent to secondary inspection. But there's an even more powerful strategy you should know about. Number 6. Proving you didn't abandon your residency. One of the most common reasons immigration officers question your entry is suspicion of residency abandonment. The key here is proving your intention to return, and for that, you need more than just words. The law considers that if you spend more than 6 months outside the country, your residency could be at risk. But even if you were gone for less time, if you can't demonstrate active ties to the United States, you could fall under suspicion. Some strategies: if you traveled for family reasons, like caring for a sick relative, keep medical documentation, photos, and any evidence supporting your situation. If your job requires frequent travel, request an official letter from your employer explaining why you needed to leave the country. Don't close bank accounts or cancel services while you're away. These moves can be interpreted as signs of abandonment. Keep your address updated with USCIS. If possible, leave someone at home who can receive official correspondence in your name. But what if you're already in the secondary inspection room? There's still hope. Number 7. How to handle secondary inspection. Whether due to trip duration, immigration history, or security reasons, you might be sent to secondary inspection. Although stressful, knowing how to act can help you handle the situation more safely. Some advice: don't panic. Stay calm and respond clearly and honestly. Avoid contradictions. Make sure what you say matches what appears in your documents. Don't delete anything from your electronic devices. This can raise more suspicion. If they check your phone, make sure there's no contradictory information. Ask to speak with an attorney if you've already been admitted to the country. Don't sign any document without understanding it. Some documents may have serious legal implications. Remember, an inspection isn't a trial, but what you say and how you behave can determine the direction of your case. And there's one situation that catches many residents by surprise. Number 8. Family visits can also trigger questioning. Many legal residents leave the country to visit loved ones, care for sick parents, or attend important family events. All of this is understandable and valid. However, if you are gone for several months, you'll need to prove your primary home remains in the United States. In these cases, the burden of proof falls on you. Authorities won't assume you plan to return just because you say so. You have to prove it. That's why it's important not to neglect your life in the United States while you're away. Avoid completing paperwork in your home country, indicating a change of residence, closing your bank account, or canceling your health insurance or rental contract. Sometimes, even small details like having an active mailbox, gym memberships, or service subscriptions within the country can serve as additional proof that you didn't abandon your residency. But what if you absolutely need to be gone longer than 6 months? Number 9. The reentry permit. Your golden ticket. If you know in advance your absence will be lengthy, you can apply for a document called a reentry permit. This permit allows you to leave the country for up to 2 years without it being considered abandonment of residency. It's a powerful tool many people don't know about that can save your status. The Reentry permit must be requested before leaving the United States and requires submitting Form 1-131 to USCIS. Once approved, this document acts as a safe conduct pass for re-entering without complications, as long as you use it within the permitted time. Number 10. The truth about green card travel. Traveling as a legal resident in the United States isn't as simple as many believe. It's not just about having your green card, but maintaining clear evidence that your life remains here. Each time you leave the country, you're leaving a trace, and each return can be evaluated by an officer who doesn't know you and must decide if your story is coherent or represents a risk. Get informed, be prepared, document everything, and don't take for granted that your residency is unconditional, because it isn't. Have you ever had a stressful moment returning to the US as a resident? Maybe you were questioned, delayed, or just unsure what was going on. Share your story in the comments. It might help someone else avoid the same headache. And if this video helped you feel more prepared, give it a like and hit that subscribe button. We've got more insider travel tips and immigration must-knows coming your way, because the truth is, most people don't learn this stuff until it's already too late. Thanks for watching, and safe travels wherever you're headed next.